Hello and welcome. Good evening. You're watching Super 6 here on India Today. I'm Akshita and getting you all the top stories that we're tracking over the next 60 minutes with a keen eye on what's happening, particularly in the southern states. We'll begin this broadcast by running you through the top two stories that we're tracking here on Super 6. Our first story is going to be from Tamil Nadu. Over the last many days, we've been seeing a huge showdown over the lighting of the Deepam in Thiruparankundram. Now, amid that, the Tamil Nadu government is reportedly all set to take on the judge. DMK MPs are coming together to get signatures to impeach the Judge G.R. Swaminathan, who had actually said that you can go ahead and light that Deepam. We're going to be talking about that big news break that's come in as the political fight over the Madurai temple continues. Also coming up on the show at 6:30 this evening, the Vande Mataram debate has been wrapped up in the Lok Sabha. We'll get you all of the highlights in case you missed out that debate. Details coming up at 6:30. We'll get you highlights of what the Prime Minister said and Priyanka Gandhi's counter as well. I'm Akshita and here are the top 10 headlines of the day. DGCA's extended deadline to IndiGo amid crisis ends. The airline was asked to explain the flight chaos. Sources say the DGCA is unlikely to provide any further extension. Moody's, meanwhile, has slammed IndiGo crisis, says it failed to plan air operations. IndiGo's ramped up operations after nearly a week of disruptions, processing 610 crore rupees in refunds and returning around 3,000 misplaced bags. There are many more who are still waiting. As IndiGo tries to restore full-scale operations, Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu has warned of tough action to set an example. The minister, speaking in the Rajya Sabha, blamed the crisis on IndiGo's internal issues triggered by new passenger safety norms. Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke in Lok Sabha today, marking 150 years of Vande Mataram. The debate surrounding that, where he accused the Congress and former Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru of echoing Jinnah's objections to the national song and pandering to communal concerns. Congress MP Priyanka Gandhi Vadra hit back on behalf of her party, questioning the need for a parliamentary debate on Vande Mataram, saying there's no controversy around the national song and alleging that the government is using the issue to distract from real public concerns. The Goa police have summoned senior government officials who are lapses linked to the recent nightclub fire. 5 accused have been arrested, the others remain absconding. DMK MPs are reportedly preparing an impeachment motion against Justice G.R. Swaminathan of the Madras High Court after his order to light the Karthikai Deepam atop a pillar near the dargah. The Tamil Nadu government has refused to implement the order, citing law and order concerns. The Kerala High Court has acquitted Malayalam actor Dileep of charges related to the abduction and rape of a fellow actor, ruling that he is not guilty. Dileep has been cleared of all allegations. 6 other accused have been convicted in the case. Markets are ended today sharply lower, with the Sensex down 610 points and the Nifty slipping below 26,000. All sectors closed in the red. US Vice President J.D. Vance is facing widespread criticism after an anti-immigration post that triggered online attacks targeting his Indian origin wife, Usha Vance. The controversy follows his earlier comments on race and expressing hopes that his wife would convert to Christianity. There was a 6 p.m. deadline issued to IndiGo to respond to a show cause notice from the DGCA. That deadline has officially come to an end. Remember that earlier, the DGCA offered IndiGo 24-hour extension, but now the DGCA has made it very clear there will be no further extensions. IndiGo was given the extra 24 hours, adding that now is in fact when the deadline has come to an end. IndiGo has been asked to explain what led to the massive flight chaos across the country, particularly on Thursday and Friday. We've been seeing, of course, that IndiGo since then, after the DGCA went ahead and revoked its earlier order, the DGCA has been saying that IndiGo has been saying that there's been improvement in air operations. IndiGo's confirmed that today 1,800 flights have been flying. They're saying that there was 90% on-time performance today. But mind you, even today, there was quite a bit of cancellations, quite a bit of delays as well. IndiGo has been maintaining that it will take a few days for normalcy, full normalcy to return. But in the meanwhile, there are attempts to seek accountability here, very importantly. No one's going to forget this episode even if normalcy is brought back. There are clear demands for answers of who is to be held accountable for so many passengers suffering. I'll bring in Amit Bharadwaj, who tracks aviation for us very closely. Amit, has there been a response from IndiGo to the show cause notice? Have they met the deadline?
Akshita, let's be very clear about this, that the IndiGo management and more so CEO of the IndiGo, Peter Elbers, as well as the Chief Operating Officer are not going to get any relief henceforth from the DGCA as far as that show cause notice is concerned. So they will have to stick to the deadline, because this deadline is something they put it on themselves yesterday while seeking the extension. And it was very clearly, it has been very clearly communicated, what we are given to understand through our sources as well by the DGCA, that if IndiGo fails to file that response, there will be ex parte decision taken by the DGCA in this particular context. So either the IndiGo CEO and COO respond, or they will have to face the action from the DGCA operations department. Now, after the response is filed, what will happen? We are explaining this to our viewers as well. This letter will be obviously shared by the higher ups in the DGCA as well as the Secretary Mocha, and eventually the minister will be briefed about the response that has been filed by the IndiGo CEO as well as COO. Chief Operating Officer. Ram Mohan Naidu is in Parliament right now, and till 7 in the evening he will be there. So obviously after this briefing is done...
Let's be very clear that yes, the IndiGo management will be pulled up, but so will the DGCA, so will the government on how they've addressed this particular crisis. Are they going to be cracking the whip against IndiGo for the manner in which the airline has essentially handled this issue and the manner in which they left so many passengers in the lurch? Thanks very much, Amit, for joining us with those details. We'll await details of exactly what IndiGo has said in response to that show cause notice. Let's cut across to more breaking news coming in. And the Tamil Nadu Deepam controversy continues, with DMK now declaring war on the verdict Judge G.R. Swaminathan. Sources reveal that DMK now is pushing for impeachment. Reportedly, DMK started getting signatures from members of parliament to push for an impeachment motion against the judge. Remember, it was Justice Swaminathan who said that the Deepam close to the dargah in Thiruparankundram should be lit. That wasn't followed. At no point did the government give in. They refused to follow the particular order, and now they want to follow it up also with this particular move of an impeachment motion. Meanwhile, you're also seeing protests breaking out. A group of advocates held a protest outside the Madras High Court against the judge here. Members of the Federation of Lawyers Organization for Democracy and Secularism held this protest against the judge, seeking his impeachment. Pressure clearly piling, seeking for action against the judge here. I want you to listen in to exactly what Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin said on this entire issue, blaming the opposition, saying that this was a result of polarizing politics.
இதெல்லாம் உள்ளூர் மக்களுக்கு உண்மையா பக்தர்களுக்கு நல்லா தெரியும். அவங்க எல்லாம் நல்லபடியா தரிசனம் பண்ணிட்டு தான் வீட்டுக்கு போனாங்க. ஆனாலும் இப்ப என்ன காரணத்துக்காக பிரச்சனை நடக்குது? இந்த பிரச்சனையை கிளப்புற கூட்டத்தோட நோக்கம் என்ன? இதுவும் மக்களுக்கு நல்லா தெரியும். ஒரு சிலரோட அரசியல் லாபங்களுக்காக பிரிவுகளையும் பிளவுகளையும் உண்டாக்கி சமூகத்தை துண்டாட சதி செயல்கள், அது நிச்சயமா ஆன்மீகம் அல்ல, அது அரசியல். அதுல கேடுகட்ட மலிவான அரசியல்.
Okay, so that is the message from the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, who maintains at this point that all of this is an unwanted controversy triggered by some. Pramod Madhav is joining us live from Chennai with more details on the story. Pramod, what are you picking up from your sources? You know, the DMK, we understand, is pushing for an impeachment motion. How do they plan on going about this?
Akshita, one thing is very certain. We were there at Thiruparankundram Hills when this particular issue occurred, and we very clearly saw how the police were not ready to allow any kind of protester to climb up the hill or to, the petitioner also to go ahead and light the lamp. Not just for one day, but it occurred for 2 days, and only after which an appeal was filed with the Supreme Court. And now the Chief Minister, who was in Madurai, has also very clearly called this as nothing but a kind of dirty politics, cheap politics, and this is what is expected to resonate in the Parliament as well, as our sources claim that the DMK MPs are going ahead with the plan to bring in an impeachment motion, and for which they're also collecting signatures as we speak, Akshita.
All right, Pramod, thanks very much for joining us with those details. The DMK now collecting signatures, hoping that they will be able to get enough support to actually push for impeachment of the justice. The images that we're showing on our screens is from a few days ago on the occasion of Karthikai Deepam, when there were attempts being made by some people to actually light the lamp based on the court order. This is what happened. There were riots, there were protests that broke out in Madurai, very close to Thiruparankundram. And since then, this entire issue has escalated. But let me bring in on this broadcast our panelists also. We've got Salem Dharanidharan, spokesperson of the DMK, S.G. Surya, spokesperson and president of the BJP youth wing in Tamil Nadu, K.V. Dhananjay, advocate of the Supreme Court as well. S.G. Surya, I'd like to begin with you. What does the BJP make of this particular move by the DMK? We understand they're now collecting signatures, trying to get maximum support to actually impeach Justice G.R. Swaminathan.
In this entire episode, there is no transparency from DMK, right from their arguments in the court, right from their stand in the public to this impeachment, so-called impeachment. It is not official. They have not said it officially. And none of the partners in the India Alliance have said anything about this because they know it is not acceptable in their part of the world or their part of the country. So here, first of all, the DMK's policy that the judge should give only favorable verdicts is laughable because there have been judges in the past who have given verdicts that were not acceptable both to the central government and the state governments. Just because this verdict is not acceptable to DMK, they bringing in an impeachment motion is joke on this constitution. I don't think they are even going to push for this impeachment motion.
Here's the justification from the DMK, Mr. Surya. They're maintaining that this is a verdict that was purely fueled by hate. The attempt was to create unrest in the state, which is the basic motive behind which they brought this kind of an impeachment.
No, just because Hindus are reclaiming their thousands or hundreds of years old rights, it will not become hate. It will become hate to them, but not to the Hindus. Even the local Thiruparankundram village people, they are going to sit on fast from tomorrow, demanding to light the lamp in the Deepatun, which is in the top of the hill. So I don't think the true representation is made on what is happening in the ground. So we do not accept to their argument that it is fueling hate. This is just getting back the rights legally. After 40 years of legal fight, you should understand. For the 40 years, we have been fighting for this. Today, we have won it fair and square in the court. They should argue in the court. They claim to have produced the best of the best advocates in the world and in the country. They should come to the courts and argue. All their arguments failed in the court, and today they are hitting the streets, which is very unfortunate and is setting bad precedent. Okay. Even we must know that Mr. Ratnavel Pandian, who was the DMK district secretary, went on to become the High Court judge and the Supreme Court judge in the later days. Nobody those times accused that the judge to be a DMK man. So this branding of judges and giving colors to the judges is the shameful act. That the chief minister has stooped to this low is very condemnable.
Let me bring in our other panelists. Mr. K.V. Dhananjay, advocate of the Supreme Court, is joining us on this broadcast. We also have Salem Dharanidharan, spokesperson of the DMK. Mr. Dhananjay, to you first. What do you make of this particular move, sir, of seeking an impeachment motion against a judge because the order didn't go in your favor? Do you think this sets a wrong precedent, or do you think it's fair what the DMK is pushing for?
Well, I think this is an extreme measure, and I don't believe the DMK has a good enough justification for doing what they just did. You do not try to browbeat a judge of the High Court by taking one judgment as a reference. After I was called into the show, I did some research of my own, and I find Justice G.R. Swaminathan previously has allowed similar petitions, of course, not in the context of there being a dargah on the top of a hill, but then in other cases, in Shivalingam, in case of Tirunelveli, he's passed an order in 2021. And so it's impossible for anyone to say that the judge could not have done what he did in this case, though some people might say that insisting on CISF presence was almost like a challenge to the state government. But, it's possible the judge might have felt that this is a case where the religious right must be accorded due importance, and the judge might not have accepted the argument of the state government as to the possibility of escalation of violence if the Deepam is allowed on the top of the hill. And it's important also to note that there has been a great deal of precedent on this issue. So I think the DMK probably might want to, send a chilling message to the judiciary here that please don't indulge in anything of this nature. But the DMK they don't have to do anything like this. I think the law largely is in their favor. Now, the matter, I believe, will come up before a division bench of the Madras High Court on the 12th. And, in matters like this, the state government could always take the pretext of law and order and then cite the 1992 Babri Masjid issue. What happened in that case? There were all kinds of assurances that there would only be a car saver and then the mosque would not be harmed or damaged. But something else happened.
Yeah.
A very large number of people swelled, swelled, and then the masjids were destroyed. So a government of the day today can always cite that example and say that the judgment of the executive, and that the courts must defer to the judgment of the executive in a case like this. And eventually, I believe DMK will prevail, maybe before the division bench or even.
No, so ultimately, right now, the reason that the court order wasn't implemented is exactly what you said, Mr. Dhananjay, that the DMK said it's a law and order issue. But let me bring in Dharanidharan of the DMK on this broadcast. Dharanidharan, the talk of this impeachment motion sends across a message that the DMK perhaps will target those judges who issue any order that doesn't seem to be what the government agrees with.
See, there are two issues to it. Let me address the first issue and come back to the second issue. The first issue is that this temple and dargah have been existing for more than 200 years together, and people have been worshipping there. People of respective faith have been worshipping there in harmony. In fact, in the foothills also, you see both Muslims and Hindus coexisting harmoniously, and there has been no issue. This has been the stance of the Congress government which ruled Tamil Nadu in the 50s during the British era, the DMK in the 60s, 70s, ADMK in the 80s, and then alternatingly between DMK and ADMK until Madam Jayalalitha was alive. So why? So no, you Hindus do not have a problem with this. Muslims do not have a problem with it. Now one party with this template is to create religious disharmony, create fight between two religious groups, and thereby come to power. Is a template we saw in north of India itself. There is the direct correlation between communal violence and BJP's electoral success. So that is the main issue here. The issue is not the people. So even the gentleman who has gone to the High Court and filed a petition as a political party which is
No,
affiliated
but if
to
the
the
orders
BJP.
come, Dharanidharan, if there is an order that's coming from the court, that wasn't followed either. And that's what led to the protest. The fact that that order wasn't followed.
This whole point is subsequent to that, there have been a number of judges who have also given order who had maintained the previous order of the 1920s. 1920, there was an order. The temple belongs to the Hindus. That land which belongs to the dargah would belong is 0.33
No,
acres.
that doesn't change.
That
doesn't change. This is about lighting of the Deepam.
Yes, lighting
on that,
of the Deepam. But
on that, the order.
I'm coming there.
Yeah,
Because
please.
I need to give context to your viewers. No? That's why I give the entire context. So the lighting of the Deepam for the last 200 years, or even before the founding of Justice Party, has been not happening at the hilltop. It's been happening at the lower level. No one had a problem with it. Now because of BJP, the problem. The judge. I'm coming to the judge. The Constitution has mandate that you can launch a impeachment proceeding against the judge. We are only going by the Constitution. Why
No,
did
but why?
Constitution give that proceeding?
No, but why? Dharanidharan, why? Why are you going ahead and doing this against the judge?
Because I clearly said that's why the historical context was very important. This harmony was maintained by a delicate balance. Both faiths respected the other faith, and based on that, the issue was going on. All the political parties that have ruled Tamil Nadu have also respected that, and the previous judgment also. So, this one specific judge, whatever his reasoning may be, has gone and given a judgment. Then, considering the law and order, my chief minister is not chief minister for one faith, is chief minister for everyone who lives in Tamil Nadu, however small their number may be. You have to understand, he may be of a faith or not be of a faith, his wife could be of a faith. But the whole point is that he's the chief minister for entire Tamil Nadu. His job is to maintain law and order and harmony. And which is why when the judgment came, we know this is not this can create.
But so Dharanidharan, then the question that will come up is the manner in which it was taken care of. Did that ensure no violence? No. There were protests. There was a riot-like situation that broke out in Madurai as a result. Okay, we're just going to reconnect with Dharanidharan. Surya, go ahead.
See, there are two questions. We totally deny there will be communal tensions or communal disharmony in the state just because a lamp is lit in the property of the temple. It is very clearly argued by even the state government that Deepatun property belongs to the temple. So how can just lighting a lamp in the Deepatun, which is the property of the temple, be inciting communal violences? I don't understand. Secondly, the dargah did not come to the court and objected to the lighting of the lamp. In fact, in the year 2005 and also after that in several peace committee meetings, the dargah has made it very clear that they do not have any objections to light the lamp, which is 15 meter away from the dargah. This Deepatun is 50 meters away from the dargah, so Muslims do not have a problem. The dargah does not have a problem. Only the HRNC department and the DMK government has a
No, so
problem
they're citing
because
law and order. Surya, they're citing
not
law and
at all.
order and saying that this is all manufactured by the BJP.
Not at all. Their problem is the vote bank. They want the Muslim votes to come consolidated without leaving a single vote. That's why they are appeasing the Muslims. They are turning against the Hindus. This is being watched by the people of Tamil Nadu. Certainly, in the coming elections, they will give a fitting reply. But my question is the same question which Justices Jai Chandran and K.K. Ramakrishnan have asked. Just by lighting a lamp in the property of the temple, how can there be communal riots? What does it say about the state of Tamil Nadu? Just by lighting a lamp on one day out of 365 days, if you think there will be riots in the state, what kind of communal harmony is it? We do not understand. You see, in so many dargahs, they are lighting the lamps and the state government is promoting it. If you can light the lamps inside the dargah, why not in the Deepatun, which is the property of the temple? We have given so many historical evidences to say that prior to the British, it was the place where Deepatun, the lamp was lit. So it is not that we do not have historical evidences. It is not that the people are not against
we're
it.
going to we're going to get Dharanidharan back on this broadcast. We're having a bit of a problem with this connection to answer some of those questions that the BJP has put out. But Mr. Dhananjay, coming back to this impeachment talk, you heard from the DMK there. They're continuing to maintain that while this is a law and order issue, they also believe that this judgment would have led to a riot-like situation on the ground. Giving that as a ground to go ahead and push for an impeachment motion, do you think that will actually stand the test that is there for an impeachment motion?
Absolutely not. The Constitution prescribes an impeachment possibility only when there is proved misbehavior or incapacity. Now, this is not a case of incapacity, and it's it's impossible to characterize this judgment as proved misbehavior. There's absolutely nothing in the judgment that the DMK can cite to show that this meets the test of proved misbehavior. I believe the DMK is trying to send out a symbolic message. And again, we also have a very high threshold to secure impeachment. Just to have a motion for impeachment begun in the parliament, if, for the Rajya Sabha, we need 50 members, or before the Lok Sabha, we need 100 members. Now, outside of DMK, I don't believe anyone else is keen to, in fact, attach importance to this. And it's just my personal opinion that other parties should stay away from an extreme measure like this. The DMK has the forum of an appellate court. It eventually also has the forum of the Supreme Court. They should vent out their grievance there. What they're doing sets a very bad precedent, not because it will be effective. Even let's assume for a moment the DMK is able to get many members, 50 before the Rajya Sabha or 100 before the Lok Sabha, to get a motion passed so that an investigation or an inquiry is commenced.
Right.
Even after that inquiry is commenced, I can tell you that the Supreme Court will simply intervene, because writing one judgment that is not palatable to the government in a manner that a reasonable person can't find fault with does not amount to proved misbehavior, because that's the standard by which the Constitution wants impeachment to go on. So this is not proved misbehavior at all. So the DMK, perhaps, I'm sure they also have wonderful lawyers within that party, and they will be able to make sense out of the madness.
In all likelihood, this is also just a case of grandstanding, that they don't expect to see this actually going through, considering it's a very elaborate process, an impeachment motion, and ensuring it actually goes through. But perhaps this is all about messaging. But Dharanidharan, we lost your connection. Apologies for that. We were, in fact, addressing the fact that, you said this is a law and order issue. Ultimately, with the Deepam not being lit, we still saw protests. We saw a riot-like situation break out in Madurai.
See, I think I was making a point. Unfortunately, I had to lose my connection. The point is the chief minister is elected by the people of Tamil Nadu and not appointed by anyone. So, which means that he also has a legitimacy from the people of Tamil Nadu, right? So, who represents the Hindus or of person of certain religious faith, right? So, the people are with the chief minister, and chief minister decided based on the legitimacy from the people what should be done, keeping the people of Tamil Nadu's opinion in
So
mind.
then explain
Right?
to me why we saw
I'm saying
explain to me why we saw the violence and protests that broke out. If it was supposed to be, if you did this to ensure that this exactly didn't happen, then it was wrong.
a party, any party that has 1% vote share may have about 1 lakh, 2 lakh workers. If those workers will congregate in a place and protest, that doesn't mean that is the opinion of people of Tamil Nadu. Has any person of following any of those faiths in Tamil Nadu, have they come and racked this issue up in the last 75 years or 78 years? Nobody. In irrespective, I'm not saying it's DMK. DMK, Congress, parties have ruled Tamil Nadu. Has this issue ever been raised? No. Now, even within AIDMK, BJP's alliance partner, there is a rift. The Edapadi Palaniswamy is fighting with the BJP. Their party leaders like Jayakumar has gone and said the customs of 100-year-old customs should be maintained. For example, the former minister, one of the former minister of the BJP, Sellu Raju, has gone and said an opinion against the BJP's opinion on this matter. So even within their alliance partner, there's a division on this view. That is
Surya?
because the people, you go to the streets and talk to the people, regular people who do not have political affiliations, they will all say that we have been living harmonious here, let this continue.
Surya,
When it
go ahead.
goes to
Your
impeachment,
response to this.
see, let me complete. Let me complete. So, when it comes to impeachment motion, whether it will succeed or not succeed, we don't know until we have the impeachment motion. We don't go for a
Sure.
motion in the parliament or a
Okay.
bill just thinking
Okay,
that it
but
will get passed or it won't get passed, right?
you've leveled a charge against the BJP and the AIADMK. Let Surya respond to that.
No, yeah, Mr. The leader of opposition, I am sure his voice is the voice of the ADMK party. He has clearly stated that by not implementing the judgment which was pronounced by the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court, the state government has erred. So the stand stops there. Even in DMK and Congress, there are so many problems. Praveen Chakravarti, who is the head of the data analytics department, he has met actor Vijay. That does not mean the party is getting into alliance with the Vijay. So different people can have different views. But what is the finality is the leader of the political party's view, and he has condemned the act of the state government for not implementing the judgment. I think the stand is very clear and loud. Secondly, Dharanidharan says that we are a one-person party and people in the ground are not wanting it. I'm not sure if Dharanidharan has ever gone to Thiruparankundram temple. So
Okay.
we have gone there like every month and we know people there. The entire village committee is in favor of lighting the lamp in the Deepatun. Today they have met the collector and they've asked for permission to sit on fast unto death from tomorrow morning, demanding the light be lit in the Deepatun, which is the historical place. So they just add some views in their party-backed media to create a general opinion that people in Thiruparankundram do not want the light to be lit in the Deepatun, which is incorrect. And
Okay.
we stand with the people of local Thiruparankundram. We will definitely
So the
win this case
BJP
in the
here, the
Supreme Court.
BJP, Dharanidharan, your final response to this, the BJP here saying very clearly that the people wanted this particular lamp to be lit in the Deepatun. It's clearly in temple property. So what was the issue with allowing it to go ahead and happen?
See, how do you know that people wanted? If people wanted, then people will elect the BJP.
No, so then I will
In
go
Tamil Nadu,
ahead
it's
and
not really happening.
so then
Right?
Dharanidharan,
So,
if
have you
I'm
done
not
a
going to
survey of
rely
all
on
the
either
people?
your word or his. If you tell me they were against it, or if he says they're for it, I'm not going to rely on either. I'm going to rely on the
I'm
fact that
coming
the
there. I'm
court
coming
said
there.
it should be done.
10 seconds. No, I'm coming there. See, the only way you will know it is either through an election or a referendum, or the specific referendum on this issue alone for entire people of Tamil Nadu. What they think on this matter. This is the only way you will know. But because we are the elected government, we have the legitimacy of the people, which the BJP clearly does not. We strongly are telling that people do not want this interference from the BJP and they want the customs that have been followed for the last hundreds of years to be followed even now. The only way we can
Okay.
counter prove me and rather opinion of a legitimately elected government that is which is elected by a 6.4 crore elected of Tamil Nadu is by having an individual census or referendum on this matter, individual referendum on this matter. Otherwise, it's all gibberish. What we are saying has no merit in it. But it is in the constitution to call for impeachment motion. We will give our strong points. It is up to the individual member of parliament. We have a Westminster system.
Okay.
So they can now go against their party views also. They can go and vote whatever they want. Right?
Okay.
But we feel we have merit in it. We will go and say the pros of it.
Okay,
Let's
Surya,
see what
quickly,
the
I can
outcome
see
is.
your hands up. Yeah. Surya, go ahead quickly. I have to
Akshita,
wrap this up. Yeah.
BJP is nowhere in the picture. We did not file the case. The case is won by independent people. We are coming into the picture
He
because
has
the state
political
is
party
just
affiliation.
a minute. Because the thing to implement an order of the High Court. You cannot hide behind BJP. This is the order of the High Court which you have to implement. If you do not implement, it is a contempt. Very
Okay,
simple.
Dharanidharan, yeah.
BJP is nowhere in the picture.
We have asked, requested for urgent hearing in the Supreme Court. Parallelly, we have also looked at the other constitutional mechanism to look at this matter, because we feel that this is the tip of the iceberg.
Sure.
If we start doing this, BJP will start creating disharmony within Tamil Nadu in every other possible ways. We know what happened in Uttar Pradesh. We know what happened in Madhya Pradesh.
So what's that got to do with the impeachment of a judge? Dharanidharan, what's that got to do with the impeachment of a judge?
Pardon?
What's that got to do with the impeachment of a judge?
Because the verdict, we feel, will bring about disharmony, and this is also against the interests of the people
Which
of
is why
Tamil
you
Nadu.
didn't follow it, but go ahead. Okay, so you're seeing also that the DMK is following that up with taking action now against the judge who delivered the verdict, Justice G.R. Swaminathan, whose pictures we have there on our screens. We leave it at this. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me on this broadcast. The DMK now, we're hearing from our sources, picking up and collecting signatures to ensure that they get the numbers required for an impeachment motion. Can this actually go through? Highly unlikely. We have a very rigorous process, rightly so, to impeach a judge. It doesn't look like it will go through, but this is optics. Important ones at that the DMK is resorting to. Let's cut across to breaking news that's coming in. TVK Chief Vijay will be holding a rally tomorrow in Puducherry. There are extremely strict norms that have been put in place for this particular event. It's not going to be a road show like we have seen previously. It's not going to be an event that happens along the roads like what happened in Karur. In this particular case, restrictions include only 5,000 people being allowed for the rally. There will be QR code passes for supporters to actually enter to ensure that only the number that's allowed, which is 5,000, actually gather at that location. Pramod Madhav is joining us with more details on this. Pramod, the stage set for Vijay's mega rally tomorrow in Puducherry. I don't know if I can call it mega because we understand that there are several restrictions in place to ensure that it's not massive.
Well, Akshita, one thing is very certain. After the unfortunate Karur tragedy where 41 people had died, this seems to be one of the biggest event after that because earlier Vijay went to a program at Kanchipuram, but that was a closed venue. We've been told that this is going to be an open ground once again. However, Puducherry has limited, the government has limited the participants only to 5,000, like you mentioned, only carrying QR code invites. However, they are going to face a lot of difficulties because Puducherry is a very small place. It's a union territory and it is also having boundaries that is shared with Tamil Nadu. So there is a Kadalur district and other districts that are surrounding it. How the police are going to control that, that's going to be a very big kind of issue that we are hoping that no untoward incident occurs. But right now, Puducherry government has stated only 5,000 people are allowed, and that too, the TVK leaders have requested that like people with young children, pregnant women, elderly senior citizens are requested not to come for this event. That way they are trying to constrict as much as possible to make sure they go over there to listen to what Vijay wants to say, Akshita.
Pramod, for getting us those details. Tomorrow we will track the latest that comes in from that rally. Everyone will also be watching out for what Vijay has to say. Let's get your highlights of the debate that played out in Lok Sabha over Vande Mataram. Prime Minister Narendra Modi opened the debate in the Lok Sabha and also targeted the Congress, criticizing them, accusing former Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru of echoing Jinnah's opposition to the national song and catering to communal pressures. For the Congress, you had MP Priyanka Gandhi Vadra countering that the government was using the issue for political gains. And she argued that the debate was driven by the upcoming West Bengal elections and an attempt to distract the public from real issues. Here are some of those highlights.
जिन पर जुल्म हो रहा था उनकी भाषा भी अलग थी, लेकिन एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत, इन सब का मंत्र एक ही था, वंदे मातरम। चटगांव की स्वराज क्रांति, जिन युवाओं ने अंग्रेजों को चुनौती दी, बेपी इतिहास के चमकते हुए नाम है। हरगोपाल बाग, पुलिन विकास घोष, त्रिपुर सेन, इन सब ने देश के लिए अपना बलिदान दिया। मास्टर सूर्यसेन को 1934 में जब फांसी दी गई, तब उन्होंने अपने साथियों को एक पत्र लिखा और पत्र में एक ही शब्द की गूंज थी और वो शब्द था वंदे मातरम। आदरणीय अध्यक्ष जी, हम देशवासियों को गर्व होना चाहिए। दुनिया के इतिहास में कहीं पर भी ऐसा कोई काव्य नहीं हो सकता, ऐसा कोई भावगीत नहीं हो सकता जो सदियों तक एक लक्ष्य के लिए कोटि कोटि जनों को प्रेरित करता हो और जीवन आहूत करने के लिए निकल पड़ते हो। दुनिया में ऐसा कोई भावगीत नहीं हो सकता जो वंदे मातरम।
ये गीत देश की आत्मा का हिस्सा बन चुका है। 150 सालों से देशवासियों के दिलों में ये गीत बस चुका है। 75 सालों से हमारा देश आजाद है, तो फिर आज इस बहस की क्या आवश्यकता है?
ये जो भाव विश्व तैयार किया था, उनके भाव गीत के द्वारा उन्होंने अंग्रेजों को हिला दिया और अंग्रेजों ने देखिए कितनी कमजोरी होगी और इस गीत की ताकत कितनी होगी। अंग्रेजों ने उसको कानूनी रूप से प्रतिबंध लगाने के लिए मजबूर होना पड़ा था। गाने पर सजा, छापने पर सजा, इतना ही नहीं, वंदे मातरम शब्द बोलने पर भी सजा। इतने कठोर कानून लागू कर दिए गए थे।
आपका मकसद है कि हम फिर से उसी अतीत में मंडराते रहें, उसी की तरफ हम देखते रहें जो हो चुका है, जो बीत चुका है, क्योंकि ये सरकार वर्तमान और भविष्य की ओर देखना ही नहीं चाहती। वे इस काबिल ही नहीं रही। सच्चाई ये है अध्यक्ष महोदय कि आज मोदी जी वह प्रधानमंत्री नहीं रहे जो एक समय में थे। सच ये है कि ये दिखने लगा है, उनका आत्मविश्वास घटने लगा है, उनकी नीतियां देश को कमजोर कर रही हैं और मेरे सत्ता पक्ष के साथी चुप इसलिए हैं क्योंकि अंदर अंदर से वे भी इस बात से सहमत हैं।